Hey, Stefan, how are you? Can you hear me okay? No, I can't hear you.
Hear me now?
Now I can, thank you.
Okay. Hey, how's it going?
Good, thank you. How are you?
Not too bad. Can't complain.
Sounds good.
By the way, thank you for the grade sheets.
You're welcome. I think you can appreciate now why when I sat down, it was not a Molson, by the way, but when I sat, or anything Canadian, but when I sat down at whenever it was, like 8 o'clock last night, to have that beer, I was spent in terms of talking about studio and architecture and all of that. So it's just as well that we waited till today.
That's perfect. I completely understand it.
Did you follow the grade sheet?
I did, yes.
Good. It's sort of a blend of like Olympics numbers, right? Like
sense.
Scores in an Olympic, right? And then giving you kind of a narrative that I hope complements the verbal discussions that we all had together in the review, but also in like just in general, like the desk crits that we've had. Where did my trash can go? But in any event, I'm glad you got it and that it works for you.
And I addressed some of the issues that we spoke about on in terms of the structural system and kind of readjusting. Yeah, ask you, like,
good.
Are we kind of enough to use a combination of structural? Like we're using mass timber.
Yeah,
but
in fact, I encourage it. So, and you're gonna want to pin down what that structural system is. In my mind, the variable, the biggest variable is what happens above the second floor. So let me talk about that last. The underground parking is, for all intents and purposes, some sort of reinforced concrete spread footing that holds a reinforced concrete retaining wall, right? A waterproofed, backfilled retaining wall. Whether that wall sits eccentrically on this footer because of property lines, or whether it sits concentrically on it, is neither here nor there as far as I'm concerned. But it seems like for everyone in this class, we ought to look at structurally reinforced concrete footers and walls. I think also is that someone else talking at your end over there?
I think so. Hold on one sec.
Okay, no worries. I think also you then have to look at what is the first floor, and what is the second floor. Now, the first floor is tricky because it's going to have basically a giant rectangular concrete diaphragm over the parking floor. And the problem that you face with that assumption is that it has to be waterproofed, right? Unless there's architecture sitting over that diaphragm. So for any open space, for any plaza, community space that you've got that is open to the elements above, that is a concrete diaphragm that has to have a waterproofing strategy. So for most people, that means a double slab scenario, right? Where there's concrete, there's a layer of concrete, there's a waterproofing membrane, and then there's another concrete in between all of that that captures it. Can that be accomplished with precast for the ceiling, and then waterproof that, and then do a poured in place slab over that? Yes, that would be one way to do it. Could it be done with structural tees with concrete slabs poured over it? Yes. So it's concrete in some form, but it's concrete with waterproofing with concrete. So what's holding up the diaphragm? Probably concrete columns, right? Could you do steel columns? Yeah. They're going to need oatmeal on them, right? They're going to need sprayed fire resistive material. And then down below, they're going to require this too. I'm going to draw this in elevation. Bear with me. They're going to look like this. So they're going to have a poured concrete cap over the steel. On that steel column. So that is an option, but the other option is just straight up concrete, you know, like that.
Yeah, because I was thinking up with concrete, only because with mass timber downs, and I thought it'd be easier just to get the tie downs right on the on the second level and make it easier that way.
So if you do all concrete for the spreaders, for the walls, for the columns of the basement floor, and then you have a concrete strategy, right, for that ground floor diaphragm, then the question is, what do you do next or above that? And I think you simply extend vertically all of the concrete columns as vertical extrusions, right? And then they pick up a second floor. Now that second floor can be cast in place, it could be post tension, or it could be concrete in a metal pan with steel and with the concrete columns. For for my money, it's probably like post tension concrete, or given that there's so little of it, but or cast in place concrete.
Would you be opposed to doing the second floor in CLT, do like a 9-layer CLT?
If I can get that horizontal fire rating that I need between the res above and the retail below.
Okay.
And I don't know I don't know that the Underwriters Laboratory has assemblies that get you that, but if they do, then I would be interested in it.
Because I was thinking of that, because our system is going to be mostly all shear walls, center quarter loaded with bearing walls.
You know what? I just lost you for a second.
I'm sorry. Can you hear me?
Are you still? Yeah, now I hear you. Can you repeat that, please?
Because our system is going to be mostly all should be mass timber for the, and I believe it's the south and
right.
No, south and the west facades.
Yes.
There because of we don't have any balconies there. I was thinking of kind of using shear walls there and kind of extending out maybe glulam columns to the north and to the east facades, and possibly going with ordinary frame panels so we can get more kind of fluctuation and variation. Is that a possibility?
I think so, sure.
Okay.
Absolutely.
If you mind, I'll just show you what I'm working on right now. I've revamped the suites in terms of, so accompany these shear walls. And so Give me 1 second.
Okay, you know what? I'm going to go plug in my internet here so that I'm not using wireless because I'm getting a lot of
Okay.
breakup. So while you're uploading that, I'll go plug in and I'll be back in about a minute.
Oh,
Thanks.
okay, perfect. Thank you.
Okay, I'm hoping that's better. Okay, I see this.
Just bear with me. It's a bit slow at the school.
No problem.
So before I had them kind of staggered, so I straightened them all off.
Yeah.
So now you have a continuous shear wall going all the way through.
Can you point it out just so I understand what you mean?
So this would be your shear wall.
Right. Which
Going
one?
all the
Like
way
on
through.
H or G?
On, well, there'd be one on G, one on F. I kind of kept them coaxial for both suites.
Yep, I understand.
And then what I was thinking is the interior quartered wall would be completely mass timber because I don't need that many penetrations anymore. For the doorways, we could do that out of mass timbers, and then for the balconies to kind of go with either prefab panels.
I see.
And same for the front because it's a little bit complicated, and I was kind of afraid of because we have a foot overhang off the first floor.
Yeah.
That weight. If we need a load-bearing wall, we have to figure something out in terms of retreating down. But if it's a lighter frame, we could probably some kind of bracket system that could hold that weight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm comfortable with that.
Okay. Same thing for the balconies, because originally Professor Farrow asked me how we can support those balconies, but since now we're using mass, those faces we could actually anchor.
Could you repeat that because you broke off?
Oh, sorry.
You actually anchor what now?
So, well, since now we're using mass timber for the exterior, we can technically anchor off a lot more structurally sound than other construction.
So
right?
would they hang or support off of brackets from that wall? How are you?
Yeah, thinking maybe using like a moment connection on that.
Yeah.
So like
Okay.
a bracket into the interior.
Gotcha.
We have minimum thermal bridging, but we could tie off, put some kind of beam on the with CLT or any thermal bridging.
Gotcha.
Like actually, I think I have an image of what I was thinking. If you bear with me. Can you see the webpage or no?
Yeah, I got it.
I believe it was talking about it. They had the moment. Oh, here we go. So some kind of
right
that would anchor off balconies, and maybe possibly if we need a corner support for those balconies, we could use that to kind of hold it in place.
Sure. Well, this is really exciting to see this. Where is this building?
This one is in
University of Massachusetts.
If you want, I could send you the article.
Yeah, that would be good. Please do.
Okay. Yeah, this article actually has a lot in terms of.
There is a brand new mass timber building. I think this is it here. No, it's in I think it's in New Jersey. It was just in Arc Daily or Dezeen.com about a week ago. Um, I'm not going to remember who the architects were. Shoot, but you could look it up. They're doing several 8, 9 story buildings that look like this image here, quite honestly, and the firm might be someone you can contact, which they might be interested to talk to you about it.
Into that. You said it was in New Jersey, possibly,
I
right?
thought so. Yeah. I mean, I'll look it up
Okay.
too. If I find it, I'll give it to you.
Okay, I'll take a look at it tonight once I get home.
Cool. Okay, sounds good. What else do you want to go over?
I think the question is, I wasn't sure if it'd be okay to kind of mix and
Yeah,
match.
a hybrid is really the way to look at this whole thing.
Okay, perfect. So yeah, that simplifies
the
it
only way I
significantly
wouldn't do hybrid is if I was doing a post-tension slab for all of the residential and the first floor. But even then, I would be doing cast in place without post-tensioning for the walls and the footers. So it would still be a subtle hybrid approach, but I still think it's a hybrid all day long.
Okay, that's perfect. Actually, I wanted to ask you, for the facade, are you open to using bimetallic panels?
What kind of
Or
panels?
some kind of a bimetallic skin. So it's thermally activated metal.
So what happens to that? I don't think I know this stuff.
So it would actually, based on it's more kind of a shading device for the windows, but based on the temperature outside, close, retract in, or open up to allow more light.
Well, send me that. That sounds really interesting.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, send me an example of that.
I'll send you the TED Talks where they explain it.
Cool. Doris Kim Sung.
Basically, it's two different metals that react. So it would close the apertures or open the aperture is.
How interesting.
So it kind of goes with. I don't know how far we kind of push this project in terms of thinking outside the box. I know we have a program that we should kind of.
Yeah, I mean, I think you can go above that, and honestly, when we get to the last benchmark, the grade sheet and the assignment will allow for and encourage, like for you guys to pursue options to enhance your grade, right? So and so in other words, there's definitely room and incentive to do things above the base program. So I'll encourage that.
That clears up a little bit of confusion that I had.
Sure.
I think that's the majority of it. So I think I've kind of just went back to the drawing board and tried to rearrange some of the suites, and how you guys said to kind of keep them in terms of a little bit more. Because originally I had
some of the bedrooms are still pretty big. The one at column D is still big, and I'm wondering if that closet, if that bed could slide further to the window, and then that closet be a walk-in.
Okay.
That kind of thing. You never want the rooms to be that different if it's possible. Like all of the bathrooms really for you are all about the same size, and that's good. But if you can get walk-in closets in the bedroom, even if the bedroom has to shrink, that's actually a good thing to do.
Okay.
So that bedroom's closet could grow in the easterly direction and in the southerly direction. And if it could be two closets, like she would get a walk-in and he would get a reach-in.
Okay.
That kind of compartmentalization, that works too.
Okay. Okay, that makes it. notes so I remember this.
Yep, that's it. And suddenly, you know, she's got a great closet. Exactly. That's a great approach. And then he gets his closet door just as he walks in, and you know, she walks around. And then the bed slides over and sits in the middle of that leftover distance.
And you're okay with having like a barn door that slides behind a couch for visual?
Yeah, I have no problem with that. That barn door can slide either way, but yeah, I have no problem with that.
Okay.
Because the seating group could go on the other wall in this instance.
Oh yeah. Yeah. The only thing I was kind of hesitant is because we have the balcony over here, and I didn't want to move the
Yep.
couch over on the other side.
Yep, I understand.
I think for the rest of them, I kind of kept them more or less generic, so you can see the.
Sure.
Now I started doing the reversals. So you have two studios. One's the reverse of the other one. Same thing with the one bedrooms. I'll change this one to
match. Yeah, to match what we just said.
Exactly. Same thing over here. I'll do this because right now I have his and her closets.
Yep.
But I could change it to
yeah, but that's a big bedroom still, isn't it?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like I want to get this size. I think that this is a comfortable size for a bedroom.
Sure.
But it's just more kind of tweaking right now.
Yep, which you'll do in an office for a week, making all of them like just perfect. It's crazy, but like that's how these units sell.
No,
right?
It makes sense. Yeah.
When you get like really thoughtfully laid out units, they move off the shelf very quickly. Developer doesn't understand why that happens unless they have, you know, experience doing this.
Well, it's also from a person who lives in a condo.
Sure.
It makes sense.
Yeah, you're already kind of indoctrinated into this process.
I've mapped out the inefficiency of it, though, and I'm trying not to recreate them, essentially.
Exactly.
One more question for the garbage. The garbage.
Yeah. So is that the closet just south of F?
Yeah, right now. Originally, I wanted to put it over here to kind of have a more centralized location.
Yeah.
Kind of create that covered off area.
Yeah.
Because I didn't want to have the garbage bin standing in front of or behind the building in the courtyard, essentially.
So that's usually where they are, and they are just about that size. They're a little room that has some sort of like on the wall opposite the door. There's going to be a stainless steel panel with a drawer pull on it, and what happens is that door hinges down, and you drop your goods inside of that door, and it falls within a welded rated chute. There sometimes is a separator dial at the landing, so that when you're dropping recyclables, right, it activates a valve down below, and it diverts the things that are recyclable to a bin, say, on the left, right? Understood. And then when it's just pure trash, you know, you leave it at the trash setting, and it drops it straight into the it drops it straight into the main bin. Detroit, unfortunately, just so you know, does not have a recycling program. So that's neither here nor there. But what you've laid out as a trash room is consistent with what we do.
Okay. Also, what about mechanical throughout the building?
Say that again.
Just mechanical shafts.
Yeah.
Throughout the building, at the minimum, or should we add more?
Well, first of all, I don't know where you're planning them, but they can go on that corridor wall. They can go near the they can go near the elevator. They can go near the stairs.
Okay.
So
back to back with the chute itself.
Yeah, it could. Okay. Yeah. As long as the shaft is separated from trash from you know, other things like that.
Okay.
I mean, trash from like dryer vents or waste lines or plumbing vents, whatever you're sending up and down through the building, right? You just have to partition those rated assemblies.
Okay, so hours then in that case.
Yep, that's correct. Which is easy because it's just, triple drywall usually.
Let me see if there's a be asking. And then for IT, you like going throughout the entire building, I'm assuming?
So for IT, you might have something in the basement, you might have something on the ground floor, and then what usually happens is that stuff may home run in that area where you've got the stairway in that inside knuckle area. But most of the IT stuff is going to be hanging in trays in the corridor.
Okay.
Corridors are usually unfinished ceilings,
Okay.
You might have like plywood clouds hanging down in intermittent sort of rhythms rather than one continuous suspended hard ceiling. That keeps the ceiling seemingly pretty high. That allows mechanical ductwork to drop down easily, sprinkler heads, right? Access to such IT conduit, low voltage wiring and the like. But I wouldn't propose, concealing that ceiling. And given the structural system that you're proposing, like revealing all that sort of structural architecture could be kind of pleasant.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah, just could maybe do some kind of basic suspended area just to cover off some of the areas that we want to cover.
Yeah, but I don't mind. I actually advocate for seeing and revealing that stuff. There's something, direct, blunt, honest about that. It has its own aesthetic, and usually the dudes that put that stuff up are pretty meticulous about the craftsmanship, right, with which they do that stuff. And I mean, you can do some plywood clouds or MDF clouds that might have a light fixture in it or might have perforations in it to give it some texture. Could be cal wall that suspends up there. Could be wood slats, right? Could be something sculptural and textural. But not something that's continuous. I think it bodes well for you if it's more open than it is closed. That's my 2 cents.
And lastly, I think the very last thing that I have is: are you opposed to having storage lockers on each level?
No, I think honestly, homeowners would want them in the floor that they're living on.
Okay, max them out, but I could do at least a head.
Well, you can get 12 up there.
Okay, I could give it a try. It might be a little bit tight.
Well, no, you stack one above the other.
Oh, they're those kinds. I thought they were like the 3
they're more like dog kennels, right?
All right, now I know which ones you're talking about.
So like you're gonna have like a 9-foot ceiling in there, so you got 2 4-foots, right? One sitting on top of the other.
Oh, okay, so I was thinking of the wrong units then.
Well, I think it's just chain link fence, right, with posts and gates and padlocks, with maybe a plywood sheet for the floor. So that you can put your summer stuff in there when it's wintertime and vice versa. And you have a lot of room in there. You could leave like a 4-foot corridor in that room and put units. You could probably put 5 units where you've got the long wall and maybe 2 or 3 units on the short wall. Or put 4 units on the long wall and then 3 units on the opposite wall, so that you are on the short wall, so that you can circulate around and maximize. So yeah, you could get 14 units in there easily, I think. How many units do you have on each floor?
6 on each floor. Counting it as
no apartments. How many apartments?
Right now, 14.
Yeah. So if you can get 14 in here, That would be ideal.
That'd be perfect. Okay. Okay. So well, now it makes it a lot easier. If I could stack
Yeah,
them.
they're stacked and they're like 3 by 4 by 4 tall.
Perfect. That makes it so much easier.
You could even do one for the building, you know, facilities team, that kind of thing.
Are we required to have a janitor closet on per level?
You should include one. Yeah.
Okay.
It can go in this area. It can go in this closet, in this storage area.
Okay.
It could go near the laundry. You know, it could go behind the elevator, for example.
All right, okay.
Or it could go in that hard knuckle, that big square of a space east of the stairway. It could go in there.
Okay, because I was thinking of doing the laundry there.
Yeah, but I mean, even that could even be a smaller closet for that to work. Could be you know 3 by 4, 4 by 4. You got it. Cool.
That's perfect.
All right, blast off, and I'll see you on Tuesday.
Perfect. Thank you.
All right, thanks a lot.
Will do.
Okay.
Have a good one. Take care.
Sure.
Bye.